What a glorious summer day. I would just love a strawberry smoothie, they're delicious and they're just so refreshing. Oh, hey, Diksha. How are you? Oh, hey, Amanda. I heard that you like strawberries, and I totally agree with you. Do you want to know a fun fact about strawberries? Strawberries are the best fruits in the world, and that's not opinion, that's a fact. Another fact is that the strawberries that we generally eat in like the supermarket, like the ones we get from the supermarket, are not found in the wild. They're a hybrid of the two species that are found in the wild. So the two species are Fragaria virginia and Fragaria chelonosus. So Fragaria virginia is strawberries from Virginia, and Fragaria chelonosus is strawberries from Chile. So, and this hybrid was created by a French scientist named Francois Fraisier. This was in 1750. So the strawberries that we find in like the supermarkets have been eaten for a very long time. Wow, who knew strawberries had such an interesting history regarding them? I always wonder, is there any more research going on around strawberries? Because science never rests. There's always more to learn about. So yeah, strawberries have been used to help research the effects of global warming. A lot of times when we hear global warming, we think of all the effects that the people are facing, such as extremely hot summers. As you can see in England, records have been broken of how hot summers have been. So, and people are dying because of that. But another part of aspect that we're not focusing is just basically agriculture or plants. Plants also are going through this extreme stress because of global warming. Some are facing extreme drought, or some are facing extreme rain, like flash floods and everything. And scientists are basically researching how plants are reacting to it. So strawberries play a role into this is because they're looking at a thing called DNA methylation. What's DNA methylation? I've never really heard that before. Can you explain it to me? It's basically when a methane molecule, which is basically CH3, attaches to one of two of the nitrogen bases, so adenine and cytosine. There's 4 nitrogen bases, and these nitrogen bases are found in our DNA. And DNA is important because that basically makes us who we are and gives plants their characteristics, or just like any organism their characteristics. DNA is very important. So what happens when a CH3 molecule attached to one of these bases? Basically, DNA methylation helps regulate many of the biological processes, genome stability, control of gene expression, and most importantly, silencing transposable elements, or just basically preventing from certain areas of DNA, like genes, stop getting them encrypted. So in this research, how they went with this was they used homozygously cultivated strawberry plants, which basically mean they all had identical genome. So what they were was, after when little seedlings were 1 month old, they were put under 1 week of stressful conditions, and then 2 days of rest, and then 1 week of another stressful conditions. And the stressful conditions were drought, or extreme rain, extreme wet conditions, and or extreme light or low light. So those were the stressful conditions in this study. And the control group, and they also had a control group, so they could compare the results with the seedlings that were under stress. So they first found the pre-levels of DNA methylations, and then after level of methylations. So there's 3 types of methylations. There's CG, CHG, and CHH. So they found, and after the seedlings who did go after 1 month of 2 weeks of stress, they found out that there was a significant decrease in levels of CG and CHG type of methylation. So this basically, CG and CHG are the more stable one. They're the ones that make sure that DNA is not getting that part of DNA is not getting transcripted, or that DNA is not going through any serious mutations. But with that like level of decrease, when the genome was being copied, like for when daughter cells were being produced, they were less likely to be like to less likely be exact the same copy. They're more likely to have mutations. So this shows that this basically is just one research, but we can see that plants are like after stressful conditions are more likely to have mutations compared to plants who have just been in normal conditions. So this was something they found, but there still needs to be like more research done on this, because this is just one research study, and that doesn't mean anything. There needs to be multiple results, multiple researches to have a solid conclusion. Really actually look at like strawberries or any plants in general, how global warming is going to affect them. We always think about like how humans are going to be affected, but this is so interesting, and we need to research more on plants, because plants are basically what is keeping alive. They provide us with oxygen, food, and whatnot. So that's so interesting. I really hope there's more researches to learn about how plants are adapting because of global warming. Thank you for telling me this, Diksha.